Hello everyone and welcome to Stronger Minds, the whole body mental health podcast with me, Kimberly Wilson. I'm a chartered practitioner, psychologist, speaker and author with a master's degree in nutrition. So I talk about psychology, mental health, food and everything in between. The aim is that you leave the short podcast informed and in possession of some helpful practical tips to support your brain health and overall well-being. This week I'm talking about recovery from burnout, or more broadly, chronic stress. Now, you might think, or at least hope, that after the period of prolonged stress is over, that you would just breathe a sigh of relief, have a good night's sleep, and then be back to your normal self. Unfortunately, the biology and psychology of chronic stress don't work like that. The truth is, we don't just bounce back from burnout and chronic stress. Recovery is real. It's physical, it's emotional, and it takes time. So in this episode, I'm going to explain what happens in the brain and body under chronic stress and how to truly begin the process of rebuilding. So grab a cup of tea and settle down, or pop in your headphones and let's go for a walk as we dig into what recovery and healing actually looks like. Let's start with a definition. The World Health Organization tells us that, quote, stress can be defined as a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation, end quote. And prolonged stress is an extended experience of that tension. Now, I won't go into too much detail about stress here because I have a whole episode dedicated to it, number 121, where I go into the physical and mental adaptations of stress and where they can tip over into physical and mental health harms. But please note that chronic stress isn't just a feeling. It's a physiological state that creates real, measurable changes in the brain and body. Prolonged stress is associated with a concept called allostatic load. This is the wear and tear on the system that builds up when your body is constantly trying to adapt to stressors. Over time, this can affect everything from your sleep and digestion to your mood and immune function. In the brain, one very striking finding is that chronic stress is linked to a reduction in volume in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for decision-making, emotion regulation, and future planning. So there's a vicious cycle that can be created in that stress can impair the part of the brain that helps you to cope with it. Chronic stress also affects the hippocampus, the seat of memory, and therefore is associated with memory problems. And interestingly, similar structural changes have been found in people with long-term depression, which tells us two things. One, that chronic stress increases your vulnerability to depression, and two, that recovery isn't just about snapping out of it. It's about creating the right conditions for the brain and body to heal. Because your nervous system has been on high alert during the period of burnout or chronic stress. Your hormones have been out of balance and your immune system has very likely taken a hit. So, those are some of the very real, measurable physical changes that happen in the body. I hope that we've now dismissed any idea that chronic stress or burnout is all in your head. But the good news, recovery is absolutely possible. Here are 8 key areas I focus on when supporting people through recovery from chronic stress, based on evidence and real-life results. Number 1 is sleep. Sleep is one of your greatest recovery allies. During deep sleep, your brain performs essential housekeeping and maintenance. It clears out waste, lowers stress hormones, releases growth hormones to support repair, and, importantly, promotes neurogenesis, or the formation of new neural connections. Now, this is essential because chronic stress can cause your neurons to shrink. So, after a long period of stress, it's not unusual to find yourself sleeping longer or feeling sleepier during the day. That's not laziness. It's a literal manifestation of the healing process. So if you can, give your body permission to take all the rest it needs. It's a sign of your recovery process kicking in. Number 2, nutrition. The foods you eat can directly support brain repair and reduce inflammation. And certain nutrients are especially important in the recovery process. For example, polyphenols found in colourful fruits like blueberries and strawberries support brain health and reduce oxidative stress. Omega-3 fatty acids found in oily fish and seafood are linked to improved mood, neuroplasticity, and reduced neuroinflammation. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and cabbage can help regulate inflammation and support the body's natural antioxidant and detoxification processes. Fiber from beans and whole grains support your gut microbiome, which sits in conversation with your immune system and can reduce inflammation and help protect the brain. And, of course, B vitamins and good quality protein help replenish your nervous and immune systems. I really like eating soups and broths made from proper stock, so bone broth stocks, because not only are they soothing to eat, but they contain lots of easy to digest minerals and amino acids. So trying to incorporate more of these foods is helpful. Try to eat in a way that feels nourishing and sustainable, so lots of colour, variety, and a big dose of kindness. Number 3, gentle movement. Exercise can help regulate your stress hormones and boost your mood. But if you've been running on empty for a while, jumping into high-intensity training can be counterproductive. So start with gentle movement, things like walking in nature, yoga, stretching, a little kitchen disco. You're not pushing your body too hard when you're using gentle movement. It's much more like maintenance. Moving helps to give your body the signal that, do you know what, we're still using these tissues, so please continue to maintain them. And then as you start to feel stronger and more energetic, you can increase the duration and intensity of your movement if you want to. Number 4, limit alcohol. Alcohol might feel like a quick way to unwind, but it can interfere with sleep, mood regulation, and neurological recovery. And that's because, quite simply, alcohol is a neurotoxin. If you've been through a tough time, your brain and body needs all the help it can get. So try to reduce alcohol, or if possible, take a short break altogether to give your system space to recover. Number 5, laughter. Now this might be a surprising one, but it's one of my favourite recovery tools, because when you've been under pressure, your brain rewires itself to look for danger. When you're stressed, you're more likely to interpret the world and other people as dangerous or hostile, and ironically, this can increase your experience of stress. So I use laughter to flip that switch. It signals to your brain, to your nervous system, you are safe now. So in order to incorporate this step, I suggest rewatching your favorite stand-up specials or sitcom series, or calling your most hilarious friends and hanging out with them. I'm essentially putting laughter on prescription. Number 6, breath. Your breath and your stress response are deeply connected. Fast, shallow breathing can keep you in a state of alert, whereas slow, deliberate breathing helps to dial down that fight or flight response. So I suggest trying 2 minutes twice a day, so morning and evening, of a slow breath practice. You can use apps like Insight Timer, Calm, or look for breathwork tutorials on YouTube. I've also recorded a guided breathwork episode for you as episode number 120, so you can listen to that if you like. Number 7, slow activities. There's something deeply soothing about slow, timeless tasks. Things like cooking a risotto that you just have to stir for a little while, doing a jigsaw puzzle, some kind of needlework, art, craft, bread making, calligraphy, or getting lost in a good book. For me, again, these are creating safety signals for your nervous system. They tell your nervous system, hey, we're not in a rush. Everything's okay. We don't have to be anywhere. And this can help to restore your sense of calm and groundedness. So I suggest picking one of these activities or creating one of your own and allowing yourself some time to linger. And number 8, good people. So finally, and probably most importantly, I would like you to spend some time with people who make you feel safe, accepted, and seen. It's not that you have to sit there and process everything out loud. Sometimes just being in the presence of someone who makes you feel like yourself is incredibly healing. And so maybe that's a friend that you can just relax with. Maybe it's a partner who can give you a hug and calm you down. Whatever works for you, whatever you have access to, do try to make the most of being around good people. Okay, so those are some of my favorite tools. And now you're wondering, Kimberly, how long does recovery take? And I would love to give you a neat and tidy answer, but the truth is that it depends. Your recovery timeline will depend on your baseline health, your coping capacity, your coping skills, how long the stress lasted, and what opportunities you have now to recover. So I'm just inviting you to give yourself a little bit of grace. In summary, recovery from chronic stress or burnout is not a luxury, it's not indulgent, it's absolutely necessary. And it does take a little bit of time because your brain and your body just carried you through something really hard. And so we should be grateful for that. That's incredible. But now it's your turn to support them. So do be gentle and compassionate with yourself. So if you're listening to this episode and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, that is me. I've been through something really difficult and I'm tired and I just want to feel better. Then what I want you to know is, number one, you're not alone. This is a very common experience. You're not broken. You're in recovery and recovery is possible. So let yourself sleep, eat some delicious, colorful, nourishing food, move gently, laugh when you can, breathe, and surround yourself with the right people. This is not the time for frenemies and energy vampires. Ideally, you wouldn't be spending much time with them anyway, but especially right now, you really want to kind of cocoon yourself in goodness and you will start feeling better, I promise. And that is all I have for you this week. If you recognize yourself as someone currently in or recently coming out of a stressful period, I hope this episode is helpful for you. And if it was, please consider either sharing it or leaving a positive review. And if you like me in your ears, you might enjoy me in your inbox. You can sign up for my weekly newsletter where I tackle a different brain or mental health theme every month. Things like emotion regulation, self-compassion, and the psychology of defensiveness. You can sign up in the link in the episode description. That just leaves me to thank you very much for listening, and until next time, take very good care.